Okay, today we're going to replace this broken glass on what is an ordinary banker's lamp. We're going to start by loosening this socket. These typically have a two-piece socket like this, meaning the outer shell screws off. Now on this one, it has a set screw back here, which I've already loosened, which allows us to rotate this socket. And we want to turn it out to the front. When I say front, that would be where this slot is. It's about a 1/2 inch wide and 3/4 of an inch long. It's where the chain comes out. Now, without that slot, we wouldn't be able to reach these terminals that are on the socket. So we can reach in that slot and loosen the wire, both wires that are on the socket, and that allows us to get the socket out of there. Now on the other side, again, I've already loosened this a little bit, but that screws out, and now we should be able to go ahead and unscrew this socket. Now there's another like retaining nut on the inside there that needs to come off. And then the nut on the opposite side comes off. And then we can, there's still a threaded pipe that's coming through the glass on this side, but we can pull that off if you pull it off at an angle carefully. There it goes. Now there are grommets inside this glass that we're going to put on the new glass. Now this glass we supplied for this customer, but you can order this online, it's no problem. Okay, the grommets are in the glass, and now we're going to slip it back on the glass the same way it came off. We've got this threaded pipe sticking out here, and the wires go through and the pipe. Okay, now this one's on. I did have to bend out this bracket that holds the glass just a little bit. Sometimes you have to bend them a little in or a little out, but this brass is soft and fairly flexible. Now this nipple's coming through on that side, so I'm going to put this piece back in on the opposite side so it doesn't fall out of there while I'm putting the socket back in. And this just wants to be finger tight over here. And once the socket's been replaced, you can play with that to get that at the right tightness so the glass stays where you want it. I'm going to put this retaining nut back on. And what this really does is keep you from tightening up that socket too tight and cracking the glass. So it wants to be just finger tight again up against the grommet. Then we're going to put the base of this socket back on over the wires. Now we don't have much wire to work with there, so that's where this opening for that chain comes in handy again, because we're going to use a pair of thin nose pliers to put those wires back on these terminals. Now you've got two wires there. There's usually a black and a white, and the black goes on the gold screw and the white goes on the silver screw. So I'm going to put those back on now. Okay, I've already attached the white wire to the silver screw, and if you can see there, a needle nose pair of pliers you're going to have that, I think. It's possible without them, but much easier with them. But I can twist that wire around that screw through that slot, and again, working through that slot, I can tighten that wire back up. So we're ready to put that socket back in, It slides back in the slot, then the outer piece screws on to that shell. Now one of the tricks here is you want this socket when it's finished for the chain to be pointed down, and that allows the chain to pull easily. If it's up like this, then you're pulling at an angle, and you want that chain to come straight down out of the socket. So, and you can rotate this shade, and once you get that in position, then you can rotate the shade so you can tighten that set screw back up, and it tightens up against that threaded pipe, and the socket won't rotate then. And we're going to snug that up over there so it shade stays in place, and we're done. We do check them for shorts here in the store. Would be a good idea at home if you had a way to do this. But this tells us if there's a short in the lamp that may or may not have been there at the time we started, or maybe something we did. And this one has no shorts. It's ready to go.